I know exactly how this industry works. And I can tell you with 100% certainty that they're full of it. They're lying through their teeth because they're trying to extract as much dollars as they can out of it because they don't care what happens next. In fact, if they cared, they wouldn't be. Today, guys, I want to talk to you about my thoughts overall on peptides because it's kind of getting out of hand and it's kind of blowing up out of proportion, and just want to bring some clarity and some good information overall to the conversation. So let's get started. So what are peptides, guys? Peptides are basically amino acids that communicate information to your body. They are signaling molecules. And they're basically just proteins. That's what peptides are, because they're a buildup of amino acids, and amino acids are basically just proteins that are condensed down. Like that's all protein powder is. It's a bunch of amino acids combined together. So that's the same thing happening here. So when amino acids are in certain sequences, they have certain signaling instructions, and they create different effects and different processes in the body. And they're pretty much all the same. Like our body recognizes these. Like our body doesn't produce all of them that exist on the market, but generally speaking, your body knows what they are. So they're not foreign. They're not the same as drugs. So for example, your body has to take this foreign substance and read that code, and it does different things to the body, and it kind of forces your body to do it. Whereas with peptides, it's kind of like your body's reading in instructions that it already knows, and it's not really done by force, if that makes sense. So it's a different mechanism. Now, peptides are being talked about by really, really big influencers right now. People who are claiming to be doctors, people who are claiming to be just biohacking experts or whatever, and they are really overhyping peptides, really overhyping. Do I think that peptides can be really good and really great for healing and good for overall use cases? Absolutely. But they're really more kind of like supplements in my experience and in my opinion. Meaning you use them here and there to help with things and help maintain your body's health, but they're not miracles. They're not, oh, just do this protocol, comment below for the research and I'll send it to you, and I'll send you where to buy them, which just happens to be my website. Ooh. And it'll cure anything and everything. Like these people are misleading, and they're the reasons that the research only peptides are going to get shut down is because of them. They're telling you what to do while also selling peptides. That's not supposed to be this in the same conversation, right? People who tell you how to use peptides and what they could be used for should not be selling them directly. They should be recommending you a source if they want to, but they should not be the same people. Like, oh, here's my brand that says research only, but here's my YouTube channel that says how to take it. And where, you know what I'm saying? Like that's clearly a conflict. And the FDA and all them are not stupid. They're not. That you can't claim for research only while also telling people how to take it and what to take it for. You can't do that, right? So the peptide industry is it's crazy, right? It's crazy, and these people are misleading you into believing that these peptides can literally cure you. They can get you jacked, guys. Peptides are not going to add pounds and pounds of muscle to you. It's not happening. Okay, people who are jacked are generally on testosterone and on other steroids even sometimes. And that's why they're really big and really jacked, or they just have great genetics. But it's definitely not peptides that got them in shape, okay, at all. The only peptides that can maybe add some muscle to you would be growth hormone stimulating peptides. And those peptides kind of suck. Like actual growth hormone is way better than those peptides because your body gets used to them really quickly and they stop working. And you have to keep rotating them. They get expensive because these people are overpricing them, right? If they were reasonably priced with what they should be, then they're probably worth using sometimes, but they're not that good. And forcing your pituitary gland to make more growth hormone is not as good as just taking real pharmaceutical grade growth hormone. It's not the same. So that's the next thing I want to get into really quickly here, which is people who are overcharging you for these peptides because they're communicating how good they are and all these protocols and how they can help you heal anything. And then they have the other part of it, which is claiming how theirs is so high quality and that theirs is made in USA and theirs is this and then that. No. Guys, look, I've been doing business with China since 2012. I know exactly how this industry works. And I can tell you with 100% certainty that every single peptide is coming from the same labs in China. Every single one. There's no one in the US that has the proper technologies, the proper capabilities to manufacture these peptides at any real scale. What they're doing is they are bringing in the raw powders, the raws, and then they are putting them into a vial, and then they are mixing it with usually another molecule called mannitol, which is to add bulk to the peptide and stabilize it. So you don't think there's nothing in the vial, because if you think about it, 10 milligrams, guys, is like a speck. It's nothing. Okay. 10 milligrams would not fill up a quarter of the vial, not even close. You wouldn't even be able to see it hardly in there. So, and most peptides like retatrutide, for example, the most common bottles, a 10 milligram vial, it'd be hardly anything. You would think it's empty. Think, oh, I got scams, right? So mannitol's added to give bulk to the whole thing and to help out with it, right? And then they put it into a vial, and then they put a label on it, and voila, made in USA. Because if you assemble all that into a product, it went from powder, you mixed it with this, and then you put it into a vial, and then you put a label on it, it's now made in USA. You can legally claim that because of all those steps that you did. But it's not made, the peptide itself was not manufactured in the US at a US lab. Nope, it's all coming from the same places in China. So basically, everybody is getting the same peptides, which means all you really need to do is find the cheapest site. That's pretty much all you need to do. Now, a lot of you, like myself even, when I first started getting into peptides, which was in 2021, actually 2020 was when I made my first peptide purchase, I was under the impression that, of course, I don't want to buy some cheap peptides because that's sketch. That's very normal to think, right? And you should think that way when it comes to things, right? If it's too cheap, it's too good to be true. Well, that's before I started digging into the business, because at first I was also fooled, right? I was thinking, oh, these people have some crazy lab setup. They know what they're doing. I have no idea about this industry. I can't do that, right? Oh, no way. This is too hard. And I just assumed that they were just these high level people that were just doing something that most people cannot do. And I wouldn't want to buy some cheap stuff because that's freaking sketch, right? I'm not going to inject some cheap stuff into my system. No way. So more expensive most likely means higher quality. That is a very rational conclusion to come down to if you don't understand the business. But once I started digging into the business and started learning everything, I was like, oh, I see it now. Because I didn't know it was all coming from China. I had no idea. I didn't even look into it. And whenever I don't look into something, it's generally out of laziness and just assuming that it's too hard, or this and that, and I just ignore it. But the truth is, it was very simple. And because I'm very well connected, I've been doing business with China for, like I said, since 2012. It's my core business I do today, which is we have a printing company and I do consulting, mainly for the supplement industry. So I'm very well educated on this subject. So once I dug into it, I'm like, oh my gosh, and I figured it out in seconds because of all my relationships in China already. It was really easy to see how this works. And so what I can tell you is they're all coming from the same places. And this was proven by another YouTuber who sent in 10 bottles of retatrutide for testing from 10 different websites, and they all passed like flying colors, which you should not have that result. Like at least one of them should have failed. At least one of them should have been not as pure. Nope, they were all 99% purity, all passed the milligrams inside the vial, everything checked out, everything. 10 out of 10. What does that mean? That means they're all coming from the same place. So basically, find your favorite vendor and just buy from them. Find someone you trust, that you like, that you want to support, who's really good priced, and just buy from them. But keep looking for other sources that are selling it cheaper, because now the access is growing. And whenever this happens, guys, this creates competition because there's nothing proprietary happening, right? So before we thought, oh, these sites have something proprietary. These people have labs, and they're making these peptides, and these guys have high quality peptides. These people, they're a little bit lower quality probably. I want to buy from them instead. And we just assumed that there was something proprietary happening. None of that is true. No one has anything proprietary. It's all coming from the same place. So basically, you just choose what label you want to buy. You buy from this peptide brand or that peptide brand. It's the same retatrutide. It does not matter. So these people who are overhyping the peptide space and are telling you that this is a cure-all, here's the protocols, this is going to, check out those people's websites and go look at their prices. They're through the roof. They're through the roof. They are taking advantage of it because they're putting out a lot of content and they're overhyping it and they're making it sound like their stuff is such high quality when really it's the same, because they know that you don't understand the business. And I'm here to tell you, like, I'm not going to educate you on the whole damn business because that might take a long time, but I'm here just to bring you enough clarity so you understand that they are full of crap. They're full of it. They're lying through their teeth because they're trying to extract as much dollars as they can out of it because they don't care what happens next. In fact, if they cared, they wouldn't be talking about protocols while also owning a website that says for research only. That's a huge conflict of interest. That's a huge contradiction. So right now, guys, the peptide industry is up in the air and no one's telling you the truth. So what am I? I'm here to tell you the truth. Pick your favorite vendor that's cheaper, right? Like here's a guide I'll give you, okay? Retatrutide should be under $100 a bottle for 10 milligrams. If it's over $100 a bottle for 10 milligrams, it's too expensive. You're getting ripped off. That's it. That's what you need to know. So other than that, guys, do your research, learn as much as you can about these peptides. I'll try to do some videos on each one, right? Or educating you on some of these peptides and tell you where to get them. If you want to know a source for peptides, I'll probably provide a source later in a school community. I think I'll do it in a school. I don't think I'm going to do it here. I'm not going to send you like a coupon code thing or whatever. I'm going to just try to create an authentic, good source that I know is good and is not ripping people off, right? So when I feel comfortable with that, I will do that most likely, and I'll most likely create a school group that's free to join, and then I can talk more there rather than here on YouTube, because I don't want to mention that stuff here on YouTube. Because I actually want to see this industry stay preserved. I don't want you to have to go through a doctor to get the same thing. It's still going to be a Chinese product because even the compound pharmacies are still just getting it from China and just putting it into a prescription vial instead of a research-only vial. It's the same stuff. The difference is it will be significantly more expensive to get through a compound pharmacy. I mean, significantly more. Even more than the guys who are ripping you off currently on the research-only sites. Even those guys would be considered cheap compared to the pharmacy route. So I don't think this stuff should be that expensive. I think the everyday person should be able to access these healing molecules and use them how they see fit. It's your body. You should be able to do things how you want, right? And if you want doctor help, you should be able to consult a doctor and then go do it on your own. You shouldn't have to get a prescription and pay $400 for a vial that lasts you 3 weeks. So thanks so much, guys, for watching. Please consider subscribing if you want to learn more about this industry, and I will continue to do my best to bring authentic clarity to the space.